I'm raising the veil. I'm consciously doing something to remember and have an experience of my oneness with God, with my oneness with everything, which is what God is. It's not something that's possible to be separate from you or separate from anything or everyone, because it is the essential essence of all life. And the only thing that has kept me separate or feeling separate, that false sense of separation, is this veil of illusion that I have placed over my eyes and over myself. So today, what we're going to do, give me a slide, please, is join in conscious evolution. We are looking at how are we living the principles of truth. And we'll focus today on just the 5 basic principles of unity. There are many principles of truth, but there's 5 basic ones that we use in unity. The important thing to know is that we're pushing past the boundaries of what we've learned so far, what we've learned from the past. We have to release it, whether it has served us or it no longer serves us at all. It has served to bring us to this moment. And this moment is the moment where we're standing on a precipice and there's no other way. We can't go back. We have to step forward. There is a bridge there, but it's a bridge of light. It's a bridge of consciousness. It's a bridge of eternal divine substance. And it will manifest in the way that you need it. That bridge will appear in the exact perfect way that you need it. But you have to take that step where you don't see what's there. You have to take that step into the unknown. You cannot use your past learning to go into a future that you do not understand. Now the thing is, you don't understand it intellectually. You cannot understand it from your limited perspective. But you do understand it with your heart. You do understand it with your soul, with your spirit. Because your soul is actually calling you to take that step. So this is not a theoretical exercise. This is a very practical practice, and one that we can apply every day in every aspect of our lives. But the first step in conscious evolution is that you release the past. You release all that has gone before. Don't let the moment that went before intrude upon this one. Come completely open. Doesn't that feel good? I'm completely open. I'm like a blank slate. I'm a canvas without anything on it, saying, universe, God, come on, paint me, pray me, manifest me in your love. Through thy perfect love, bring into manifestation my world, according to thy perfect law. Not according to my limited thinking, not according to my fears, not according to my judgments. Bring into manifestation my world according to what? Thy perfect law. Principles of truth. Rumi once said, yesterday I was clever, and so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise. I'm going to change myself. Because that's really the only thing I can change. And if you believe in the third principle of unity, which we'll get to in a minute, the world is merely a representation of what's going on within you. Yes, you are the master of your own world and your own destiny. Conscious evolution means just that, changing yourself. And we can accomplish that change, the spiritual transformation that we always talk about. We can actually accomplish it by doing certain things. We talked about them last week, right? These are the things that feed our soul. So the first thing, these practices to feed our soul, the first one, of course, is prayer. But in unity, prayer isn't just begging some omnipotent force, some powerful being for favors. Please help me. Prayer is actually creative thinking. It heightens our connection with everything and brings forth all that is good. Brings forth healing, prosperity, and everything that we consider good. And Charles Fillmore says that prayer is the most accelerated form of mind action available to man. So prayer is actually bringing into manifestation your world through acknowledgement and consciously connecting with that perfect law, the law of the universe, the laws of love. It is truly sitting down and saying, what would love do now? And then doing it. That's the most important part. What would love do now? And then just do it. I love that. So we're going to meditate. That's another way to feed our soul. We're going to get in that flow of divine love. So instead of just asking, what would love do now? I'm going to be love now. And in meditation, I can go to that place where that's all I am and that's all I experience. It's a place where I release all my limited thoughts. It's not a place of no thought. It's a place of just the thought of God. Only the thought of God. See, a lot of times in the Eastern tradition, they say the mind is the problem. You got to get the mind out of the way. And you want to get to that place of no thought. Well, for human beings, that's not really possible. Because you are a thought already. You are a thought manifesting as you. You're a thought in the mind of God. And so, rather than thinking of thoughts as these separate representational reflections of ideas that are limited in separation, we actually experience thought as universal and singular. Thoughts of God. Universal, singular, and present. All pervasive and all present. And containing all knowledge and all wisdom and all spirit. And so when we meditate, that's where we go, and that's what we are. That's what we become in meditation. We become that which we already are. But what we've done is quiet our minds and allow ourselves to be in the truth. So the next one, the way to feed your soul is through healing. To accept your own healing and then extend it to others. This is what all we do on Thursday nights is all this feeding of our soul. I missed Thursday night. That's why I was the last few days, I have felt so weird because we canceled Thursday night. Why? Because of my limited thinking. I made the mistake. It was my fault. I admit it. I made the mistake of watching the Weather Channel. I let the world tell me the weather instead of saying, no, this is going to be fine. Our weather is perfect peace. And in here, in that circle, that's what our weather is. We are in the climate of God. We are in a climate of acknowledging and affirming the truth. And I need that every week. I need to feed my soul. And we do perform healing with each other. So we do prayer, meditation, and healing. We feed our soul. But another thing that's really important and very active is forgiveness. Because if we're thinking that our circumstances have been caused by somebody out there, we can never change it. We are doomed to that place in our mind. Because how are you going to change something out there or something that's already happened? It's gone. It's not here now. You can't do anything about it. But you can do something about how you're feeling about it and about yourself. And you can come into this moment and feel something different about right now. Don't let the past intrude upon your peace and upon what's going on now, because now is so precious. Now is the only moment we have. And so forgiveness is going to help us be in the now. It's going to help us to heal. It's going to allow us to come into that place of meditation and prayer that feeds our soul. And the last one I want to mention is mindful living. We do this on a constant basis so that we can live mindfully. That each and every day, with every person we meet, with everything that we're doing, we are stepping in peace. Every step is peace. Every step is love. Everything we say is from a place of love. And yes, I might get tripped up. If I skip a Thursday night, I'm more likely to get tripped up on Friday and Saturday. You agree? Because that's our spiritual food. And we come to be fed spiritually. When we're fed spiritually, we can walk mindfully. Everything we do, therefore, becomes a part of fulfilling our spiritual purpose. And that's the ultimate goal, is to fulfill our soul's purpose here on earth. Does anyone agree with that? That's your ultimate goal? Some of you are going, yeah. And others are going, what? Purpose? Goal? I don't know. I'm just, I'm going with the wind, whatever the Weather Channel tells me. I don't know. I don't watch Fox or CNN. They're going to tell you a lot of stuff. That's not what's going on. The Weather Channel. I'm not going to watch that channel ever again. You know how I always tell the weather? I go outside and I go, it looks pretty nice out, and that's it. That's how I tell the weather. So here's Unity principles, okay? So instead of telling yourself a lot of stories about the world, this is going on, that's going on, watching TV, don't get your news from the TV. Get it from God. The news, this is the news that I'm learning from you. This is the good news. The gospel is called the good news, right? That's a literal translation of gospel, good news. The good news is, with me, God is absolute good, everywhere present, the one power and the one presence active in the universe and in my life. That's the news. Thanks for tuning in. We're broadcasting 24/7. God is absolute good. There is absolute good in the universe. God is absolute good. When you think that the forces of evil are taking over, go back. God is absolute good, everywhere present. God is in the midst of it. Thankfully, I missed Thursday, but by Friday afternoon, I have a prayer partner call. So, I'm doing the same thing that you guys are being asked to do. And we're you're only be given these suggestions because we want you to be happy. We want you to be joyful. We want you to be prosperous. We want you to be healthy. We want you to be incredibly satisfied in your relationships. We want you to have everything that you want and need in this life and more. All this and so much more. I learned that the last time I was at Unity Village. There were these wonderful ministers. They end their prayer, and for this we give thanks, and for this and for so much more we give thanks. Because we don't even have an inkling of all the blessings that are waiting for us. And so what I would like to do is consciously evolve into receiving those blessings and so much more than I can imagine right now. For this and for so much more, we give thanks. Because human beings, all of us, have a spark of divinity within, the Christ Spirit within. It's within all of us. It's the second principle of unity. They're very essences of God, and therefore they are inherently good. And if you think about that, first about yourself, which is so important, that I am inherently good, then you'll be able to see that in others, that inherent goodness in you. And pretty soon, that's all you're going to see. And we're going to have a class, a wonderful encounter with the 5 principles at the end of this month, October 28th, on a Monday night. And it's not just for new members, it's for anybody who's interested in what unity and new thought is all about. And we'll go deeper into all of these principles on that night. I'm just giving you kind of a cursory view of them today. So human beings create their experiences by the activity of their thinking. So we include in thinking feeling, because the heart is actually giving more information, electrical impulses to the brain than the brain is giving to the heart. So you're actually feeling your way around the universe. you're feeling it. And then you give the signals to the brain of what to do. You know your visual cortexes in the back of your head actually has nothing to do with your eyes. Your eyes are just picking up a reflection from what your brain is telling you. Oh, isn't that great? That's crazy, isn't it? That is crazy. All those images are happening in the visual cortex. Look it up. Google it. It's really fun to have Google. I'm learning all kinds of things that I didn't know when I was growing up. Nobody taught me I even had a visual cortex. Nobody taught me I had a frontal lobe. Nobody taught me that I had neuroplasticity. You ever heard of that word? You have neuroplasticity. What does that mean? It means your brain is actually a living organism and can change. And you can learn new responses to everything in your world. You can actually train yourself through your brain and your neuroplasticity to respond with love to everything in your environment. I can say I have fallen well short of responding to love, with love to everything in my environment. So the first thing I have to go back to is I'm creating the experience that I'm having. It's not actually happening out there. I'm creating the experience through the activity of my thinking, my feeling, and what I believe. So we've added a couple aspects to what thinking is. My thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning there, in thought, in the impulse of life within you. That's what manifests your universe. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. These chairs, somebody thought about these chairs. How do I make this chair? I need some wood, I need some metal, I need some screws, I need some upholstery. You have to have a thought about it before you can manifest it. Oh, a microphone, a book, anything. It doesn't matter what it is. And so if you go deeper and deeper into where does everything begin? And I mean everything. It has its beginning in thought. Thought is not what you think. So 4, prayer. I already said something about this. It's creative thinking. And it brings forth everything good. But the most important one to me is this one right here. Knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called truth, are not enough. A person must live the truth that he or she knows. It's not enough to know it intellectually. We have to live it. We have to say, oh, okay, if that's true, then therefore, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to consciously do this. I'm going to consciously show up and pray on Thursday night. I'm going to consciously bring into manifestation the abundance in my life that I desire. I'm going to consciously perform a healing with you today, which I've been doing all along. I'm going to consciously sit down and meditate and remember who I am. I'm going to consciously forgive or ask for forgiveness. I am going to consciously enter into this situation. I'm going to wake up today and consciously enter into my day. Whatever it takes, I'm going to consciously enter into this moment with you. And it doesn't mean that you know it all. No, it's far, far from that. It just means you live the truth that you know now. And if you live that, the universe will give you more. And then you can live that truth. And you'll be given more. You know, the Bible says to those that are given much, much will be required. So when you're given these truths, it's required by your soul, not by someone outside of you, but by your soul to live these truths. Because that's, you know in your heart, that's what's going to make you happy. You know in your heart, that's what brings you peace. You know in your heart, that's what clothes you with abundance. You know in your heart, that's what brings you those amazing relationships. And it's not without work. We have to work sometimes to release our old ideas and our old limited beliefs. That's the work. The work is just getting rid of that stuff you don't need. Because we're like hoarders, you know. We're hoarding these old thoughts they're just hanging around. They're just cluttering up your mind. They're filling up your house with a lot of junk. We need to call 1-800-JUNK. Get that stuff out of my mind. Come with a big truck and pull it. That's what meditation will do. That's what prayer will do. That's what mindful living, forgiveness, and healing will do. It will clean up all that junk that you've been carrying around with you. So evolution is what dictates that we keep raising our level of consciousness. It's evolution. We need to keep vibrating in a higher and higher frequency of spiritual energy and awareness every day. You know, the Bible also reminds us that the truth is the thing that's going to set you free. The truth is setting you free, not anything else. We tend to think, oh, when I get a lot of money, then I'll be set free. When I have this relationship, then I'll be set free. When I've succeeded in that job, in that career, when my kids move out of the house, then I'll be set free. That's what my parents thought. I kept coming back. No, the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. And it always does. So we are awakening, we're evolving, we're healing, and we're growing in ways of compassion and understanding. And we're going to have to live these truths. Because when we begin to live it, we realize that the whole universe is on our side. Everything is for our own benefit. Life is forever biased on the side of your own healing. It's always biased on the side of your overcoming, on your success. When you get yourself centered in the universal flow, you're going to be synchronized with this bias for good forever. Everything is for my highest good. Everything. I'm going to be synchronized with that. And now everything, you say, wow, I can't believe how incredible this is. You know, Wendy always tells us when she comes in on Thursday night, miracle, everything's a miracle. So many miracles are happening in my life, I can't tell you even half of them because everything is synchronized. Everything's in this flow. And it's amazing because that's what you've consciously decided to do, is get yourself in the universal flow. So I am imploring each and every one of you to do that and only that. We're in the middle of a great shift of consciousness. It's like giving birth to a child. The human species is in the midst of a shift of consciousness. We're giving birth to a whole new way of being. It's really true. It's completely new. And we're going to go through some labor pains. But I assure you, if we keep our eyes on the prize, if we keep our heads and our hearts on the truth and our feet on the ground, this child is going to be born, this new way of being for humanity. And it will be healthy, and it will be beautiful, and it will be the Christ child. Each and every one will recognize who they are. So let us be about living the truth that we know, step by step. And let that Christ child be born in us. Let it be born again in us today. And let us go out knowing that we are blessed and be a blessing to the world. Can we do that? All right, be a blessing, my friends. I love you.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.